Billings community members, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Neil Byer, your neighborhood realtor, running around town, touring the city to connect the community, putting a spotlight on the amazing entrepreneurs, businesses, nonprofits, teachers, and community members that call Billings home. Today I'm speaking with homegrown Montanan and mechanic extraordinaire Chaz Angel, owner of Black Ice Automotive, located at 5229 King Avenue West. To learn more about him, his passion for engines, and his business. Chaz, thanks for allowing me to feature you and your business on my website. Let's get right to it. Can you tell us more about Black Ice Automotive?
Black Ice Automotive is a auto and diesel repair shop, and I basically cover bumper-to-bumper repairs and major repairs. You know, whether you need an engine or a transmission or you need brakes, if you need gear work, I'm bumper-to-bumper as far as all the mechanical aspects of your vehicle.
What's the best way for customers to connect with you if they want to touch base, if they want to take their car and have you look at it?
I'd say the best way right now is, call and make an appointment.
Okay.
My phone also, I receive text messages. I do a lot of texting with customers sometimes, if they're not able to talk on the phone. I also have a Facebook page that they can get my number.
What made you decide to open Black Ice Automotive?
I moved back to Billings for personal reasons back in about 2010. And I actually went to working on semis for almost 5 to 7 years. And in that period of time, I'd spent so much time on the weekends working on people's vehicles that were broken down or people traveling through. And so one day my friend said, "Hey, you just need your own place." And I looked at him, I said, "I don't know how I'm going to make that work." And it just kind of has all worked out, in general. And so
It seemed to just almost fall in place. I mean, it's something that you're doing anyways. It's like,
exactly.
I'm working on it, might as well make it official.
Yeah. And it's a lot easier because I can work with customers one-on-one.
Right.
I'm the service advisor and the mechanic.
Right. And how long has this been open now? How long has Black Ice been in?
I've been open 2 years now.
Yeah.
2 years.
And how's it been going?
I've been busy. In this business, I feel like it's always come in waves.
Right.
It's never all just 100%. It's
Right.
Sometimes it's 100, sometimes it's 40, sometimes it's 60.
Right.
It just kind of all comes in waves. Everyone's got different problems or experiencing different things. It's seasonal too.
Yeah.
I mean, with Montana, you see the 4 different seasons here. And so some of it is seasonal in that aspect. Whether you got water pump issues or cooling system or, the seasons definitely affect the way your car runs here.
What is the preferred way to be referred to as? Mechanic, automotive tech? Is there a preference or?
I think in a lot of people's mindset, is that everyone's just a mechanic.
Right.
And, I grew up understanding that a mechanic was basically a parts replacer.
Okay.
I think there's a difference between an automotive technician and a mechanic.
So that's good to know.
Yes.
So the preference would be by professional people in the industry who are not only fixing the mechanics of a car, but also understand the computer and the technology aspects of the car. The preference would be for to be an auto technician.
Yes,
Okay.
I would agree with that because there's just, this business isn't just about replacing parts. It's about, there's so much science behind everything, and you really have to understand a very large majority of information all the time. And some of it is, specific to certain vehicles, or some manufacturers have certain defects or problems that, a lot of people see throughout the country, and they flag them, they give you TSBs, they give you, some of the special notices, but you really have to know a lot about electronics. You have to know about even the mechanical side, right, as the base mechanic. But at this point, I would say that, referring to people like me is more, it's rude.
I apologize.
It's rude.
Let me go back. We'll start over. Auto technician. But I think it makes sense. And I only thought about it after talking to you that it might be offensive in some way, and not necessarily offensive that you are insulted by it, but maybe not doing justice to the type of work and your expertise that should be given. How did you get started as an auto tech?
I fell in love with cars when I was 16, and back in my day, doesn't seem too long ago. Doesn't seem too long ago, but just when the world was a little bit different, gas was 92 cents or $1 a gallon. I mean, you could get in a car, and having a car was freedom, for somebody, when you're young. And so, I just always loved cars. I always liked, not just the power, but being able to get in them and just go anywhere you could go. And so this was supposed to be kind of my lily pad to becoming something else. And I've stayed in this business for so long because I'm never bored.
Right.
I think as you get older, you get a little bored in some of the industries, but in this one, it's a constant, like you're constantly using your brain. And so I started out not just for the love of cars, but understanding them and working on them and fixing on them. And you run through so many different cars and models and makes, and some are great and some are terrible.
But you also see the growth and the development that takes place. I mean, the evolution of cars.
It's incredible because I've actually probably worked on more vehicles from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and then seeing everything from then all the way to the newest stuff now. And I'll tell you what, it's amazing at what people think of and what people build. But the trick is always, how can I repair it and get somebody fixed back on the road so they can keep going?
Enjoy that freedom.
That freedom.
What motivates you?
I think in this business, what motivates me is because I love cars so much, and I love all vehicles. Even the ones that people buy in their lemons or have problems with. But the truth is that my passion for this is the fact that I do love them and I do care about people, because we all want freedom in certain aspects, and sometimes I don't think people realize the freedom that is associated with having a vehicle.
Right.
And so what drives me? Well, I love to be able to figure it out.
What would your customers say they appreciate most about the work that you do and your services?
The fact that I explain to them what's going on with their car, or I'm willing to show them what's going on with it. I think in this business over the years, there's been a lot of, people will fix something, but then they'll hand you the bill and be like, well, you got to pay it, or,
good luck,
or see you later, or whatever. Yeah. And so it's nice to know that I can at least show you or explain to you, hey, this is what's going on. This is what's failing. Here it is right here. And they can see it for themselves. There's no, they don't feel like they're getting hoodwinked.
Right. There's a lot of communication.
There's communication. There's a lot of different little aspects to it. But, my goal is to build trust with these people, because I want people to have a different viewpoint on this industry.
Right. And you're very big. I mean, it's almost how you started your business and helping people, right? And I think that's very important in one of your cores.
So in that aspect, I'm the middle of 5 kids, and my mom always had a crappy car, and so it took a long time. And so over the years, as I kind of had progressed and done stuff, I was always fixing my mom's car. I was always figuring out, fixing friends' cars, fixing other people's stuff. And so it just, you get good at something, you just keep doing it.
And when you're able to help someone, particularly with your mom, right?
Yep.
It makes you feel good, right?
Yes.
Gives you that motivation, that joy, that drive, that good feeling. So, what is the most memorable experience you've had working with a customer?
I've had a lot of different breakdowns. At least not just from when I started Black Ice Automotive, but a lot of people have, been traveling through the state of Montana, whether they're traveling or visiting family, or they're moving. And so kind of like the memorable things that really kind of touch me is being able to help somebody get back on the road. You know, whether they're broken down or having some kind of car issue, and you know, having somebody call me and say, "Hey, can you get these guys fixed right now?" And I'm like, "Yep, I'll be, you know, see you out at the shop." And whether they're towed in or they can drive it in, being able to help them get fixed on the weekends, you know, especially when a lot of places aren't open,
Right.
that's probably the most memorable thing for me.
So people driving through who are in dire situations
Yep.
and need help immediately in order to get to where they need to be.
Yep.
What is something most people don't know about the automotive industry?
I would say that a lot of something they don't really know is that they don't really realize how much computers have kind of taken over to, you know, provide the luxury things that they like in a vehicle.
But also they're very instrumental in just the running of the engine as well these days, isn't it?
There's so many aspects now because so it used to be from like I would say the computer originally was kind of developed to kind of just run the engine, okay? And now you got, you know, one or two or three or four or five or six computers now.
Wow.
And they all have to talk to each other. So
in one car.
In one car.
Wow. I had no idea.
And so it's not just running the engine. Oh, now you got a whole nother control module for your doors, or you have a control module for, you know, the seat heaters. I mean, there's so many different little things that control, but people don't realize instead of the old, you know, standard circuit with a fuse and a relay, it's now all built into one little module or one little computer, and you know, diagnosing some of these things, it is not as straightforward as you think it would be.
Right. What is something most people don't know about you?
I went to senior high. I graduated with honors. I went to automotive school. I've gone through all the things that you need to go through, you know, to work and things, and you know, and getting the experience, and so at this point, I would say that coming back to Billings, you know, Billings has changed even from when I left, and so, you know, 10 years was a long time, but at the same time, I would say that people just don't know that, you know, I'm here again.
Chaz is back, everyone.
I'm back to Billings.
What are your goals over the next year?
You know, in this business, you know, as far as Black Ice Automotive is concerned, you know, my business is to keep, you know, my goals and things like that are to keep growing. You know, I want to be a good place where people can, you know, drop their vehicles and trust that, you know, the repairs are going to be done correctly and they're going to be done on time and you're going to get your vehicle back, you know, and be happy. You know, I realize you can't make everybody happy, but truly, I mean, I want people to be happy with the service they get, because at the end of the day, you know, we're all in it to help each other. We're all in it together to win it. And so if I can help make somebody's day or help lessen the burden or the cost, you know, on repair, I mean, I'm going to do the best I can to be as, not just as competitive with other, you know, places, but I want to be a bigger shop. I want to have 6 to 8 bays. You know, I want there to be a good environment, a good place where, you know what, you can drop your vehicle, you can trust that people are going to work on it and do what they say they're going to do, and you know, until you have the next problem, you know, I want to be with somebody for the life of their car.
Yeah. And I think that goes to relationship, right? I mean,
Yes,
you
sir.
want to build those relationships. You want people to come back to you because they can trust you and know that you're going to do a good job and you're honest and trustworthy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What do you do when you're not working? Or are you always working?
You know, as somebody who owns their own business, you never stop thinking about jobs sometimes. So when I'm not working, I like to travel. I like to have a life just like anybody else. You know, I have children, so I try to spend as much time as I can with them on the weekends. It's just kind of a little bit of everything. You know, I love riding quads and, you know, having fun. Well, I like fun.
Chaz, thank you so much for your time. Greatly
Thank you,
appreciate it. Billings, thank you so much. I know Chaz very well. He's a stand-up guy. I trust him with my vehicles. I think you should trust him with yours as well. Check in with us next time. This is the end of our episode. This is Neil Byer with the Billings Beat. I love us real estate. We'll see you next time. Cheers.